Welcome in, guys, to the Full Force Fathers podcast. Episode 6 already is here, Dave. Believe it or not, we're already going.
That's been great, man. This has been so much fun. So much fun.
Dude, it is so much fun. So thank you to everyone that's listening, tuning in on YouTube, listening through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all those platforms. We really, really appreciate it. Getting a lot of feedback. Even on our Instagram page, Dave, I noticed a couple comments. A couple of our reels have been reshared. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see the reach starting to grow a little bit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, we got into this to make a difference, impact people's lives, and I'm so happy that it's growing and continue. Everybody, if you enjoy the content, please share it out there. Get it to all the folks that you know, that you love and care about, because we certainly want to just impact as many fathers as we can.
Absolutely. So today we're going to mix it up a little bit, Dave. We are going to go 5 topics, 5 minutes each. We're going to make it rapid fire, quick hitters, however you want to say it. So with that, we're going to start, Dave. So get your timer ready.
Timer's ready. You just tell me when to hit start.
Listen, when he hits start, we got 5 minutes to go. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. Ready? I'm ready when you are.
Start.
All right. Topic number 1, we're going to go fitness. I'm going to call this topic spring cleaning, Dave. All right. Most people think spring cleaning, their yard, whatever they're doing, the cleaning around the garage. How about spring cleaning for your body? First part of spring cleaning for your body is, I guarantee you 95% of you that are listening, your New Year's resolution has gone to shit. So this is your second.
I think it's higher than that. I think it's more than 95%.
You may be right. Well, listen, I'm not quoting any statistics on that one. I'm just throwing a number out there. So the good thing is we have spring cleaning for your body, right? That's the next major step for people in their transformation, or their wannabe transformation is actually a better way to put it. Everyone's got their New Year's resolution. Nobody follows through with it after 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe you get to February. And now what's the big question, Dave? What's the big thing everybody wants now that we've hit April?
Bathing suit body. It's summer.
Oh, boom. They want their beach body, right? So number 1, New Year's resolution is gone. Number 2, you actually have time still to get your beach body. All right. It may,
I don't know. We're already in the swimming pool out here in Arizona. So
yeah. So no excuses, guys. Spring is sprung nationwide, whether you're in Arizona, Virginia, or maybe Alaska, Florida, New England, snow's melting. So spring has sprung. All right. So spring cleaning for your health. What do I mean by that? I mean, there's tons of stuff you can work on. You can work on your consistency. You can work on your discipline. All right. You got to keep showing up and putting in the work. All right. Just like your New Year's resolution, everybody went out and forgot about it. It takes 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and everyone forgets about their New Year's resolution. So how about this? Let's not do that with our spring cleaning for our body. There's plenty of ways to stay motivated. All right. The first thing I know, and I listened to it from my wife, something comes out of the closet, Dave, right? A pair of shorts, something that she hasn't worn in a year. And oh boy, everybody's winter weight's been tossed back on their hips. And all of a sudden, the shorts don't fit. The tank top doesn't fit. The t-shirt doesn't fit. The jeans don't fit, right? That's what I mean when I mean spring cleaning. You still have time to get into those shorts, to look good in the bathing suit. It just takes effort and consistency and discipline and doing the work, Dave. That's what it comes down to. Go ahead.
And don't just go out and buy new clothes, right? Because it feels better to be in clothes that are a little bit bigger. That's defeating the purpose. Number 1, you're busting your budget. Number 2, you're compromising. You're saying that this is okay, so don't do that. So get into the gym, get outside, get moving, get working out, spring clean, get it together, and get back into the clothes that you know you look good in and feel good in.
Hold yourself accountable. Dave can hold me accountable. I can hold Dave accountable. By the way, Dave, how's 75 hard going? You're doing it in the middle of spring.
I'm doing it in the middle of spring. It's great. It's better than the middle of the summer. And it's an incredibly hard program, but a fun program, because the change that comes with it is absolutely exponential. And it has been a blast.
That's good. 75 hard. If guys, girls, whoever's listening, if you haven't done it, check it out. Do it. It's a life-changing. It's a one-stop shop to get in shape mentally, physically, spiritually. It is a one-stop shop. All right. So focus on your food. Eat a little bit less this springtime, right? The weather's going to get warmer, and I have a tendency to eat less, especially in the spring and summer when it gets hot out, because when I'm hot, I just don't like to eat. Maybe that's just me, but that's one of the best things you can do. Focus on eating smaller portions, eating a little bit less at dinner, breakfast, lunch, whatever time you're eating. Have a healthy snack or two instead of some garbage. And the number 1 way to do it, drink more water. Pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. It's going to fill you up, and you're not going to have any calories. drink more water. All right.
How much water should people drink a day?
Minimum of a gallon. No doubt about it. There's no excuse not to drink a gallon of water a day. And we've talked about it on other shows before, Dave. It's free. It's practically free. Even if you have to buy a bottle of water, it's cheaper than buying soda, and it's good for you. All right.
Yep.
And when it comes to spring cleaning and fitness and discipline, anyone who knows me, I follow Chad Wright, former Navy SEAL. He's an ultra endurance champion. One of his favorite lines he always says when he was in the SEAL teams and now as an ultra endurance, ultra marathoner. 3 words: execute, execute, execute. Lock it in, get it done. Go to work on your spring body, your summer body, whatever you call it, whatever's going to motivate you. Picture on the wall, picture on the mirror. Every day, try to get in them damn shorts that you want to wear, or put them up and say, hey, these are the shorts I'm going to wear. I'm not going to settle. Find a friend. Like I said, Dave and I bounced it. That may be the best one of all the tips and all the spring tips. Find a friend to work out with. Hold them accountable.
Accountability partners are the key thing.
Yep. So big things: discipline, accountability, execute.
Oh,
and
boy.
there's our timer.
There's the timer.
5 minutes is up on spring cleaning. Dave, I'm throwing it to you. Go ahead. Number 2.
Cash envelopes. I did a lot of posting about this recently as the new month starts and you start getting into those habits of spending money and sticking to the budget and what are the best ways, right? So system that works for us, Casey and I, we've used this for 6 years. We continue to use it now, is cash envelopes. We go to the bank at the beginning of the month, first paycheck. We both get paid the same week. We take out all the cash we're going to need for the month for all of our expenditures that we need just cash for. So this doesn't include like the internet bill or auto insurance, things like that, because those get automatically taken out of our account. So what does it include? So this goes going out to eat money, entertainment, dry cleaners for getting your clothes clean, groceries, spending money for you and your spouse, all those types of things that you would normally swipe a credit card for, you're going to use cash. So you've got to get your envelopes together at the beginning of the month, and you've got to stuff them with cash at the beginning. And when you run out, you run out. It looked like you were going to say something, Brett.
Yeah, I got a question about your cash envelope.
Yeah.
And I thought of this question because I've heard you mention it multiple times, and it's a question that I'm expecting a good answer from. So if you run out of your cash envelope, so just for instance, give me 5 envelopes that you have. Give me 5 names of them.
Okay. We've got groceries.
Okay.
We've got entertainment.
Okay.
We've got restaurants.
That's 3.
We've got toiletries.
4.
And we've got car repairs.
5. So you go to the grocery store. It's the last week. And you look at your flyer and you pick out what you're buying. What happens if you have not enough cash in that envelope? Do you take it from car repairs or restaurants or entertainment? Or do you just try to find a way to squeeze by? Or how does that work? Are they interchangeable is really probably my question, how I'm asking it.
That's a personal choice, right? So depending on where you are in the month is going to maybe better help you make that decision. But a couple things go into play, right? So if you're at the end of the month, there's probably a good chance that one of those other envelopes might be light as well. I would not take it from the car repair fund. Okay. I wouldn't take any extra from the car repair fund. Now, if you're at the end of the month, you're running short on grocery money and you haven't gone out to dinner at all, sure, you could take it from that envelope for going out to dinner, restaurants, and use it towards your grocery bill. But really what you want to do is you want to plan better for the entirety of the month. So you don't want to start off the month spending $200 at the grocery store if your weekly budget's only $150, because now you're 50 behind and that's got to come out of somewhere else. So either you slash 1 week or you even that out over the course of the rest of the month, right? Or you just, you get to the end of the month and you've got, $80 left on your budget of $150. Well, you've got to be really frugal at the store. And maybe you're going to be, eating a lot of one thing that's on sale. But that's what you got to do. Maybe there's stuff in your freezer that, a week that there was a lot of sales, you stocked up your freezer. So I'm not going to buy as much protein this week because I'm going to eat out of the freezer and save my money there. I'm just going to pay for fruits and vegetables.
Okay, so back to the car repair envelope is intriguing to me, and I'm sure there are people with many questions. Does car repair mean gas, or does car repair mean something breaks down? Because there could be many months, Dave, where nothing happens to your car. What do you do with that money?
You leave it in the envelope, and that's exactly what it is. It's not gas. So what is car repair? Car repair is, oil changes. It's new tires when that happens. Folks, you drive the car, tires are going to wear out. It's not an emergency when your tires wear out, okay? You should have that in the budget and a plan for it. Your emergency fund is for true emergencies. We know that the car is going to have expenses to it, so we save for that. And that envelope, usually for us, will get to be about $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, and then we need to go get tires for one of the cars. And that's what we do. You take the money out of there, you go to the store, you pay cash, and you don't ever have to worry about that coming back. You're not paying interest on it for months or years to come.
So essentially, you're still adding to it every month, even if you don't use it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And you can do that with all the envelopes. So if you have a month where, you didn't go out to dinner a lot, but maybe you've got a couple special occasions the next month, you've got an anniversary or birthday or something like that. So you want to save, so you didn't use your money that month. Well, you save it, you roll it to the next one, and you still put it in so that the next time the next month comes around, you have money for both those occasions. And again, you don't have to put it on a credit card.
Okay. So essentially, if you get lucky, you don't really have to worry too much about digging out of it. It just grows and grows. So if there is a major repair, you're not digging out of your emergency fund to pay for that repair. So do you just take a 12-month rolling average?
Oh boy. Yes. No. Well, no. You take your monthly budget number. So, are you talking for the car repair?
For the car repair, just for I'm intrigued by the car repair one.
Yeah, I usually put in enough to replace a set of tires every year. That's what I try. That's what I try and do. And then usually it's not quite that, and then it'll build up. And then when you have something else break, you've got extra money in there.
Okay. Topic 3. You ready to hit that timer? We're gonna tackle topic 3. We're gonna tackle topic 3 together.
Go.
And topic 3, Dave, I want to hop into a little bit of mental health and wellness. All right. I think we're very fortunate, you and I, to be able to do this podcast and touch as many lives as we can. But I think that's something that we're lacking a little bit in big picture. The word that comes to my mind is gratitude a little bit. Being a little bit more thankful and having a little more gratitude. What are your initial thoughts on something like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people will get bogged down in some of the problems that are happening in their immediate lives. But really, if you kind of peel back the onion a little bit and realize how lucky we are to have the things that we do. You and I are afforded the opportunity to get on here and talk about the things that we want to talk about. And that's an amazing thing. We both have jobs. That's great. Families that we care about, we love, that are healthy. And those are all wonderful things. So, maybe something's not going right in your day, or maybe you're not thrilled with your job, but you've got to look around because there's so much more to it than one isolated piece of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it right from the very start of my day, or anyone's day. Most people that are listening to this podcast, we're fortunate enough to wake up in the morning, right? Your feet hit the floor in the morning. I think that right there is the first sign of gratitude that we can show every day is, hey, whether you believe in God or whoever you believe in, when you wake up in the morning, just send a little thank you note upstairs and say, hey, thanks for another day. Every night when I pray before I go to bed, I thank the Lord every day for a complete day, and I pray for a good night's sleep to get up and do it all over again the next day. So I think showing a little bit more gratitude for ourselves and what we have. We woke up. You mentioned having a job. We're the ability to be with our children every single day. And if you don't have a job, I know that's a good reason for people to piss and moan, but it's also a good reason to be grateful. You live in a country where you can go get a job, and there's a lot of people hiring right now in this wild time that we live in.
Especially right now, you can go anywhere and apply for a job.
Be grateful that you can actually attempt to go get one, because there's people out there that want to work, Dave. They can't because whatever their circumstances is, they can't even work. You know what I mean? And in your personal life, I was listening to a podcast last week. My boss at my real job, I say, he sent me over a podcast to listen to. And if, anyone knows Dave or I, we're big sports guys. And Buzz Williams, who's the head basketball coach at Texas A&M, he coached at Marquette, he coached at Virginia Tech. He shows gratitude every day. And I can't quite remember the name of the podcast that was on that I heard it, but he writes 2 thank you notes every day to people that he meets in his life. And sometimes they're as simple as, hey, thanks. It was great to meet you. Thanks for affording me the right to shake your hand. You know, and Dave and I have talked. I've been trying something new. You know, I'm in a relationship based business, and so for the last week plus now, I've been texting or calling or emailing 5 people every day. Just it could either be a thank you, hey, I was glad to meet you at a convention, or hey, a high school friend that I haven't talked to in a long time. You know, just showing gratitude to people in general. You know, it really does reciprocate. Just being a good human, that shit matters. You know, being a good human, it reciprocates back on you. So, and the statistic that I was going to throw out here, Dave. So last week, 5 days times 5, I did it Monday through Friday. I didn't do it Saturday and Sunday. 25 people that I reached out to. Guess what, Dave? All 25 reached back out to me. Every one of them, and every single one, we had a pleasant. Some conversations lasted a text chain that was an hour or 2 hours long, and some were just a quick, hey, thanks for reaching out. Happy to hear all as well. You know, it's amazing.
It's such a lost art today because of the technology we have in our hand, right? We have these phones, and it's so easy to just, you know, you could post something on Facebook or Instagram, you just shoot a little thing, but the actual art of like reaching out to someone, impacting someone's day. I mean, it's good for you and what you're doing, but as a receiver on the other end of it, to kind of get a note and say that said, hey, thanks for meeting me the other day and taking the time to chat with me. Like that goes a long way. The art of writing a thank you note, like you said, Buzz Williams does, right? You know, we try and instill that in our kids when they have a birthday or Christmas. If they get a gift from somebody they're not expecting around the holidays or for, you know, all their birthday stuff, our kids write thank you notes to each of the people that sent them something, because it goes a long way as the person on the other end of that. You're like, wow, that person took the time, and in turn will probably make them a better person.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that maybe even more than gratitude. And I like how this conversation shifted more towards, you know, being gratitude. Timer's up. One more thing.
Yeah.
The lost art of thank you. How many people don't even say thank you anymore? The lost art of thank you.
Don't get me going down this rabbit hole, right? Because we talk about this all the time. I get up in the morning by usually like 5:45. I'm out the door by 6, and I'm on my run or my walk, and I'm always saying hello to people. It's one thing I always do. Anytime I cross paths, I make eye contact and I say hello. You can't believe the amount of people that just don't respond. It's amazing to me. So be a good person. Just be a good person. It makes a big difference.
Yep. Like I tell you, just be a good human. All right, and it comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
Topic number 4.
All right,
Dave, go.
Here we go. Sinking funds. What are sinking funds and how do we use them? People confuse sinking funds with an emergency fund. What's your question?
I have no idea what a sinking fund is. It's just, so go ahead.
Okay. A sinking fund is a fund that you use to save for something important. So a lot of times people will use their emergency fund because they think, oh, I need a new car. Well, I've got all this big chunk of money sitting here. Let me use it. Or I need new furniture. Or I need a new bed. Listen, I've been victim of this too. It happens. It gets in your mind, but you got to stop it from happening. So the difference is an emergency fund is used just for emergencies. A tree falls on the house and you've got to fix the house, right? Your car blows up, things like that. A sinking fund is a fund that you set up separately with a target in mind. So, you know, I've got to replace my car in the next, 3 years. Okay, great. How much would I spend in a car payment, right? The average car payment today is over $600, which is staggering. So if we just use, $500 as an example, put $500 into your sinking fund. Every month you can open up a separate account at the bank if it makes it easier for you. You put $500 a month into that account. And then by the time 3 years comes, you've got enough money to replace your car. Or if you want a more expensive car, you put a little bit more, whatever your budget allows. It's got to fit inside the budget. And that's what a sinking fund is.
Okay, so let me think for a second how I want to phrase this question about a sinking fund. So you said the word budget. So let's take this back 3 episodes to baby steps. All right. Mm-hmm. Where does the sinking now can you start a sinking fund if you're in baby step 1? No. So baby step 1 has to be clear wiped out.
Yeah, you've got to be all the way through your emergency fund, which is baby step 3. So baby steps 4, 5, and 6, where you're saving for retirement, you're saving for kids' college, you're saving for, or you're paying off your house early. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you can add sinking funds in there. But again, you still got to be putting in your 15% into your retirement. You don't let those things slide. So what is extra in your budget is what goes towards that sinking fund. And you could have multiple sinking funds going at the same time. Maybe you Maybe you need a new car. Maybe you need a new furniture set or something at the house, or maybe you got to replace your air conditioner in the next 5 years. We live in Arizona. Usually they're dead in about 15 years. So, as at that time starts to come, you say, all right, I'm going to start building the sinking fund because I know that that's going to come up.
So is a vacation savings account or vacation fund, is that essentially the same? Would you consider it a sinking fund? So like, hey,
yeah.
So essentially what you do is, let's just say these are just hypothetical numbers. $600 a month for groceries, $200 a month for entertainment and restaurants, $50 or $75 a month to car repairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cash envelope, but it still has to tie into the budget.
It can be. I mean, we've used it for vacation before. Back before we had kids, like this kind of got us going. We had this vacation plan to go west. We were going west for 2 weeks, just Casey and I, and we planned out every piece of the vacation, from the hotels we were staying in to the things we wanted to do, like the touristy things, to food, rental cars, and it had to be 15 envelopes going in our safe, and we had money for each of those. We knew exactly how much everything was going to cost. And when we went, we took the envelopes with us for the things we knew we could pay cash for, the hotels and the rental car. We put that stuff into our account so we could use our debit card when we got there. But that was like the greatest sinking fund we had. And we did our entire vacation. We planned the whole thing out. We saved for it for a year. And man, it worked amazing because we got back, and it was the first vacation we ever went on that we didn't owe anything for. And it was amazing.
5 things you would need a sinking fund for. Go.
Car. Heating, air conditioning unit at the house, replacing a roof, vacation, and let's see, putting in a pool.
Okay, so a roof is not an emergency. A roof would be a sinking fund. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, so if a tree falls on your house, on the roof, and you need to repair your roof, that's an emergency.
Okay.
But if you know that, you know what, I've bought this house, and I'll use New England as an example. It's where I'm from. You could get a 15, 20-year roof with shingles. As you're encroaching that time, the roof's going to need to be replaced at some point. So you plan for that. Okay.
So like a leak, like your house springs a leak all of a sudden. That's an emergency. That's not
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Your plumbing in your bathroom goes out, and you got a leak and it's coming through your ceiling. That's an emergency.
So your sinking fund is a long-term type of goal set for, like you said. I guess the best way I understand it is like if you want to buy a new car, if you whatever the payment would be that you'd go finance it, you stick that into the sinking fund every month. Builds. And
until you get to the number that you need. You need to know the number that you need to attain. And then once you're there, you can go buy whatever it is you want to buy.
All right. Topic 5, moving on. 5th and final topic. We are going to talk about a little bit about parenting, because at the end of the day here, we are parents. First and foremost, it's the greatest job in the world. It's why we get up every day. It's why we go to work every day. We love our kids more than anything. And that there's, like I said, it's the best job ever. If you guys ever see any of my posts on Instagram when it's me and the girls, there's always the hashtag Blantourage, but there's always hashtag best job ever, because being a dad is the coolest job ever. It's the most rewarding. It's the saddest. It's the happiest. It's, you name every emotion. That's exactly what parenting is. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's everywhere in between. You know what I mean?
Got that for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so what struck this topic is yesterday, down here in the South, we're mowing our lawns already, and we have now for a couple of weeks. And yesterday we were doing something outside, and Madison said, "Hey, can I mow the lawn?" I said, "Sure." And she said, she went over to the garage, she got the little push mower that we had, and then she's like, "Well, what do I do?" And I said, "What do you mean? What do you do? You hold the start, let it go, mow the lawn." And it blew me away, Dave. She had no idea how to use it, what a pull start was, how to mow the grass. And I thought for a second, I'm like, my initial reaction was, what the hell is wrong with her? And then I said to myself, you know what? It's my fault. It's my fault she doesn't know how to mow a lawn. I never taught her how to mow a lawn. Yeah. We lived in Arizona for 7 years. We didn't mow any lawns, but she saw people mowing lawns at ball fields and parks and stuff. And I said to myself, what a great topic we're going to dive into on the podcast. We are failing, Dave, as fathers in the year 2022, where we don't even like me. I got a lot to learn. I don't teach my kids enough life skills. Like we got to get back to the basics.
Simple stuff, right? I think, we take for granted some of the things that our fathers taught us growing up.
Yep.
And our busy lives can get in the way, but we need to remember how crucial it is to be able to, impart our wisdom on our kids. You said you taught Madison how to fire up the lawnmower, right? A couple weeks ago, I taught Kendall how to change her bike tire because, she's constantly popping that thing on thorns out here and cactus, cactus pieces. So I wanted her to learn how to do that. Teaching your kids to cook, that's a huge thing. Like I love to cook. So I'm always, taking both the kids and like, hey, this is how you do this. And Kendall's really kind of taken a liking to it now. And, she's at the point, she's 8, she can go and she can take a recipe and bake something completely herself, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's the basic. It's almost like basic survival skills. Our kids don't know how to. It's crazy to think that maybe Caroline, my middle child, would be okay. But if I like threw my kids outside, like they're so reliant on technology and us as parents to do everything for them. I know my kids are, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that like my kids get, if we don't give them some sort of direction or we don't like, they're so reliant on us that like, it's like, holy cow, I need to stop and take a step back and be like, where can I do this? And I was thinking, I'm like, your kids do chores. I know they do, and we, in Madison, we instituted a little bit, but like, I'm thinking to myself, like, we got to get even more, like they got to know how to like work with their hands and do things, get a little dirty. Like I'm not saying they need to change the oil on my truck because I can't even change the oil on my truck anymore because all these vehicles now are so technologically advanced, like where your dad or my dad taught us how to change the oil on a truck or a lawnmower. But simple thing like mow the lawn was, like I said, I can't get over it. Or here's a pair of snips, go trim that bush. They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's a combination of our busy lives and laziness, right? So we'll just be like, it's easier to just let them watch TV or sit on the iPad or whatever it may be. But no, like get them outside, get them doing things, show them the right way to do things, show them what hard work is. And, what you can save by doing that. We always use this for our kids. Like, hey, we get to go on some cool vacations every year. That's one of the things we love to do. We love to go on vacation. But if we couldn't do these things on our own, if we had to hire somebody to come in and work on the yard or, trim the trees or, come do the projects in the house, like we're not going to be able to do those things. So then they get the buy-in and they're like, okay, yeah, I get it. Let's go do it.
Yeah, no. And like when I say back to basics, like what are the main basic elements to survive? Food, water, and shelter. Like my kids don't know how to hammer a nail into a board. But that's our job, right, Dave, as fathers. We need to teach them how to do that stuff. Like you said,
bring them
your
in.
Dad and our fathers taught us, and just because I have girls, that doesn't mean they can't know the basic survival, just the basic skills in general, food, water, and shelter.
It makes it more important.
Yeah.
Because you have girls. So that people don't take advantage of them later in life.
Yeah.
And teach them the things, and then they can call bullshit on something.
Yeah. And teaching them to work with their hands, like we had just mentioned, like, hammer a nail. Mow a lawn. Like it ties into our Bible verse of the day. This is my all-time favorite Bible verse that is out there. And it comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, and it's verses 11 and 12. All right. It says, and to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, you should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. It's a lot. It's a mouthful right there, But Dave, initial thoughts of what is my favorite Bible verse of all time. I don't know where it ranks on yours, but in terms of, especially in today's day and age, I think it's really, really fitting.
Yeah, and we touched on it just a little bit ago, but like for me, I think back about all the things my dad taught me over the years growing up and how in the moment I didn't really get it. Right. Mm-hmm. I helped them. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I'm learning how to do this, whatever. But it wasn't until like I had my own family and I found myself in the situation where, I needed to repair something around the house, fix a toilet, change the brakes on a car, change the oil, like different things like that. And I was able to do it. The sense of accomplishment I had, and knowing that my dad taught me how to do it and I knew it was done right. And I got to save that money for something else that was important to my family, especially now with everything costing so much. If you can, teach your kids so that they can save money and do things on their own and not be reliant upon everyone else, because not everybody is honest, and you don't want them to fall into that trap of finding somebody that's dishonest and then takes them for a ride on things that, they shouldn't have to pay for. That's my initial reaction.
I knew you tied into finance somehow. You always,
Of course I did.
Yeah, and I look at it from the current standpoint and situation of the world that we're living in. Like you mentioned, how expensive things are. Like, learn to fix things yourself. You will save so much money. Like, I can't tell you how much money I saved from Dave coming over to our house when we lived across the street from each other. If something broke and I didn't know how to do it, like, I don't do electric. It's not my thing. I never learned electrical. My father didn't teach me electrical because he never learned it. But Dave saved me thousands of dollars from paying an electrician to come in and fix something. And we have friends that are plumbers, or carpenters, But if you learn to do these things yourself, and in the Bible verse where it says, work with your hands so you will not be dependent on anybody. I'm not saying you're not going to need people, because you need people. But if you can not be dependent on people for every little thing in your life, that is the way that this world is headed down that road, Dave. And people are so dependent on people delivering them their food for lunch. They can't even go get their own food. You name it. They're dependent on every single person is dependent on somebody for something. And this Bible verse brings it back to the basics. Do it by yourself, so you're not relying on everybody else. Aspire to live a quiet life and be a hermit. That's not what it means. It just means live a nice quiet life with your family in your house or your peace, whatever the case it is, and be able to do things on your own and not be so reliant on everybody else.
Yep.
That's the way that Bible, and everyone will interpret it differently. Like, everyone interprets everything differently from the Bible. But the way that I interpret that, like, that one just hits me. I grew up rural, so I know what it's like to grow a garden or whatever the case may be, and things like that. And it's just that one hits me in the heart.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all grew up with people, right, that didn't have the same, same experiences growing up. Like, I have friends from home that I couldn't tell you the difference between a wrench and a screwdriver, right? They couldn't pick out, a spade shovel from a flat shovel. Like, no idea. So, imparting our knowledge on our kids and teaching them those things is just going to make them an overall better person, and a more successful adult.
Yeah, and I'll give you a quick example. Just a recent example. The chicken, we have chickens. We have 10 chickens. The girls wanted to get chickens, and it's with the cost of eggs. I'm all for chickens right about now, but we did the chicken coop ourselves, and we built the cage, the run, whatever you call it, that's around the chicken coop by ourselves. And that I never would have been able to do that if my father didn't teach me how to build something when I was a kid and teach me basic skills, right?
Yeah.
And not only was I able to do it, it ended up being an unbelievably fun family project with the girls and Andine. We had the best time doing it. Sure, we bumped heads a bunch of times, and I hit my hand with my thumb with a hammer, putting a nail. I mean, all the things that entail with building something like that. But the fact of the matter is, we got to spend hours, Dave, together doing that. So it's an everyday life skill to learn how to build something, but to do it as a family and to tie it into you. How much money you think I saved, Dave, by doing that myself? You've seen the chicken coop. Look at my Instagram.
You saved at least $750 doing that yourself.
Yeah. What's my
time? And what you did there too, like, that's a memory that all three of your girls are going to have forever.
Yeah,
it really is. It seems like like people out there might be like, oh, it's ridiculous. No, like, those are the things you remember as kids, right? You remember those projects that you did with your parents that, they showed you things and taught you, and you had a hand in, because they're going to see that chicken coop for as long as you guys live there, and they're going to know that they helped make it.
Yeah, it's memories over materials. Material things don't matter. It's memories made. A kid will never remember their greatest day of television, but I'll tell you right now, a kid will always remember when you do things like that, the chicken coop, putting up the fence for the horse, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's a great Bible verse, guys. Thessalonians 4 through 11 and 12. And that brings us, Dave, to our book recommendation. I have it here today.
Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters by Dr. Meg Meeker. It's an incredible book. And I've actually listened to Meg Meeker speak, Dr. Meeker, and she was phenomenal.
This book right here was given it to me for Christmas by the girls. And the girls got it. Thank you, Dave, for the book recommendation, because
that's right.
My wife went and called Dave and said, hey, what's a good book recommendation for Brett? And he picked this one out. I'm glad he did. Great book.
It's such a great book. And I think my favorite part of it that she really hammers home is that, like, dads get a bad rap in society. And I don't know necessarily why this is, because I don't see it in my own life, but I guess I get it, right? Guys, they're just always like, hey, they're on the golf course on the weekends. They're at happy hour with their coworkers after work. They're hanging with their buddies. They're playing poker. They're watching sports. They're not involved in their child's life, in their daughter's life. And, what we're doing here is stopping that, that perception of society, because fathers have such an impactful part of their kids' lives. Like we talked about, teaching your kids things and just being there and being a parent. Just being present is really the most important thing.
Yeah. And dads out there of daughters, I am a girl dad. I have, as you guys know, I have 3 girls. Like, we are the most important man in their life, whether you want that to be true or not. It is. They have a special bond with their mother, but there's no bond like a daddy-daughter bond. It's totally different. It's a different chemistry. They look up to us. They listen to us. In the book, it mentions how important dads are to the girls, and to be their hero. We are their heroes. We're the first hero they ever know, and we'll always be their hero no matter what. Even if you're a deadbeat dad, your daughter still looks up to you. If you're the greatest dad in the world and you're at every sporting event and every school event and you pick them up and drop them off at school every day, you're still the greatest dad. Every man that comes into their life will be sized up to you, whether you think that's happening or not. And I promise you, if you're a jerk or you treat women like shit, they see that, and guess what? They think that's right, whether they tell you or not, and they're gonna end up with a man that treats them like shit. If you show them love, you show them compassion and all those other things, then they're gonna find a man. Like, believe it or not, like, they end up, what they look for in the science, Dr. Meg Meeker, she's phenomenal. The science and the statistics in the book, they end up marrying someone as closely and similar to you, because that's what they know. You are their hero. You will always be their hero. They are always going to come to you to look for recognition. What's the word I'm looking for, Dave? To look for, I can't think of the name. Approval. That's the word. They're going to come to you for approval. Like, you are their hero. Be their hero. Be there for them. We are full force fathers. That means full force fathers, all in parenting. If you're a girl dad, all in. If you're a boy dad, just because they're boys doesn't mean they're rougher and tougher or anything like that. You just have to be all in.
Yeah, and you have to be honest with them too. You have to hold them accountable on things. You can't just be their best friend. You've got to be their dad. You've got to show them the right way to live.
Yeah, and Andine tells me all the time, pushover. She tells me all the time. That's her favorite word to use. But that's the fine line. Like Dave just said, you got to be able to draw it. You got to be their best friend, but you also got to be the disciplinary action to figure too in their life, because they're also looking for that as well. They're not just looking for, mommy yelled at me, daddy, make it better. That's not what they're looking for. Whether they're internally, they're looking for accountability. They're looking for discipline. They're looking for direction. And that book, like, kudos to Dave for telling Andine about it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. And being a girl dad, I mean, it's absolutely second to none. It really is. So check that book out. Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters by Dr. Meg Meeker. And with that, Dave,
I think that wraps us up for episode 6.
Yeah, I hope you guys like this one. It's a little different. We mixed it up, but we did, 5 topics, 5 minutes a pop. We went over the buzzer on every single one, which we were not shocked about. And, just kept it a little quick, a little rapid fire, a little change of topic quickly. So we appreciate everyone that listens to us. And if you learn something from us, or you like us or you don't like us, please comment, share the show, let everybody know.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, everybody follow us on Instagram at Full Force Fathers. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms. If you like it, give us a share. Full Force Fathers. Keep living the full force life, and we'll talk to you soon.